has chosen the Celtic Cross spread for your general monthly reading, which is perfect for this setup since it looks a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future, but focuses the most on what is going on right now. It is also the only spread that I do that devotes a card and a position to the environment. So there is likely something around you this month that Spirit wants to bring your awareness and attention towards. And that is what we're going to do today. Welcome in, Capricorn, to your Celtic Cross spread for February 2024. You guys are my last sign that I'm reading for February. Spirit was a last-minute decision here with what kind of spread you guys were going to get. They went with Celtic Cross, and looking at it, I'm almost a little surprised they didn't go with the storyline financial. There's a lot of money stuff in here. Let's get to work. Right at the beginning, the middle of your Celtic Cross. These are the first two cards, you and what crosses you. First of all, they show a lot of fast stuff going on here, guys. Capricorns are very, very busy. Busy bee, lots of activity coming in very quick into February. Actually moving and hauling butt. That's what they show. So a lot of stuff going on. Maybe news coming to you very quick as well could represent that. And they're showing here that it's okay. Because Capricorn, you have everything you need to deal with this. You guys are, you have the tools to be ready to deal with what is presented to you. You also have the experience to overcome pretty much anything that's talking about is why you're busy here. Okay, so you got the tools. You're good to go. They show that this is cyclical with round and round. So this is stuff that and that's why you have the tools probably, because you've been through this ringer so many different times. It's like, how many times are you going to shut down the computers, or the computer's going to have an issue with work? Like, I've been through this before. I know what happens when this happens. I know what to do with this student when they act up. So whatever version of this is for you, you guys are going through cyclical things right now. That is what's like, we're living around rent-free in your head. Not in a bad way, but it's just, they show that's just what you're dealing with. It's what you're dealing with. It's what you're overcoming as we enter into February. Being courageous too, guys. As we move backwards in your Celtic Cross, this is the recent past. This is, not too far from here. They show a lot of you new money showing up. So new money has come, maybe January, entering into February. And, it's a good thing. I don't really know what else they want me to do with that. It's just our first financial message out of many that are coming. Now, it's probably a good time for me to tell you too, because I'm feeling that that's not hitting everybody the same. There's some Capricorns probably right now like, I didn't get any new money. Where's my new money? Okay, good time to tell you this is a general reading. The messages are often general. If you're looking for messages that are personal, private, and specific only to you, we need your energy and your energy only to do those readings. And right now we got all of your Capricorn friends kind of bubbled up here. So those are available. I offer a wide variety of services from small all the way up to full service on my website, scottsagent.com. That's all about you there. When we move into the future position, guys, they show a young person here. This is a generation gap younger, usually than you. So it kind of depends on where you're at. This could be like your son or daughter. This could be grandkids. This could be, they could be talking about your parent if you're the kid. So there's a generation gap between two people, and usually this falls into a younger person. They usually are referring to a child here. It is my Princess of Cups. In other decks, this is a page. Page represents a young person. So why are they bringing this person up for your near future? Well, it's letting you know that this person is going to be very relevant very soon. Maybe you're going to have, an overnight with a niece or nephew of yours. So, depends on what version of this it is. But we got a kid coming up for your near future, whatever version of that means to you. That's what they're talking about. As we get into your above position, now we're talking about something that you're very aware of. I'm not telling you anything new, but it's important because sometimes we know things and we still don't act accordingly, or in this case, rest accordingly. They're bringing up time for a nap, guys. So make sure that you are, especially since we have the busy bee that we started with, make sure, Capricorn, that you are getting enough rest, relaxation, hitting the reset button on yourself sometimes, recharging your own batteries, plugging yourself in at the end of the night with some good sleep. Okay, time for a nap. The Empress comes in too. So this is fertile ground. This is the divine feminine. Maybe feminine health is coming up in there. So it's a big focus for a lot of people, getting your feminine health right. And also just the ground is very fertile if we're using the generic version of this definition here, in that new things are happening here that you can actually touch physically. So there's good changes, good possibilities, good opportunities here. And I don't normally do this, but I just feel drawn to give you your runestone right now. It's sitting right next to it, and it lines up perfectly with what we're talking about. The runestone is initiation. Initiation for Capricorn. So basically, you're being kind of pulled into something. You're being invited into something. That's what an initiation is. It's like a ceremony. It's like, okay, well, now you're ready for this chapter, or you're ready for this club. You're ready for this phase of your life. That's what they're talking about up here. Just make sure you get enough rest. As we get into your bottom position, Cappies, we are now telling you something you are not aware of. It's my favorite position in the Celtic Cross because it is mysterious and you don't know what this is until I tell you it. And this is the Queen of Wands. And I did ask if they're talking about a person. They said no. So we're using the energetic definition only here, guys, which means nurturing of the work corner. Wands points us to work and Queen points us to nurture. If this was financial, I would tell you to save. That's what nurture would mean in the form of finances. But with work, I think they're just trying to tell you to put more energy into work. You know, don't sell yourself short at work. Don't neglect work or take it half-ass. You really got to be, it's requesting the energy. Long story short, it's going to require it in the month of February. So just don't cut work short. And Spirit is telling you you're not aware of this yet. So you're not, or maybe you're just not aware of how it affects the bigger scope of things. Spirit is just seeing this as an opportunity, like, hey, if they don't pay attention to this, they're going to maybe miss this promotion, or they're going to miss this opportunity to, you know, get an extra day off or get a party with the group or whatever they're talking about here. So Spirit wants your kind of eye on this. So now they are bringing it to your awareness. Now we go into running up your sides here, guys, the side of the Celtic Cross. Number 7 is the card of siblings, and this is coming up under advice. So siblings are a big draw, just like we talked about young person in the near future. It could be a younger sibling that they're talking about there. Or they're talking about here is just the advice is that, you know, sibling health is very, very important in the month of February. And not just siblings, guys, because this is like an emotional kind of health, like your heart, you know, and it's like remedying your heart. Getting rid of old emotional baggage or wounds has to do with that. And not just siblings either. This falls under the love corner altogether, which is a big place too. It is anybody that's close to your heart. Your relationship partner could fall under here. Usually not. Usually it's more kind of the next level down, which is more siblings. That's why I say siblings, but also like very close family members as well. And even kind of pets can come in there. Anybody close to your heart, really. So that's what they talk about. It's a pretty big, you're being advised to kind of go in that direction in February. The next thing they show here is your environmental card. This is probably why we did the Celtic Cross, or one of the many reasons they chose for it. Your environment in the home is either getting money put into it. It's coming in very good. I love the way it looks. But a lot of you are either doing things to improve your environment at home. I feel like it's less about work and more about your home environment with the family. You guys are either putting money into projects, getting things done, getting, you know, buying furniture or whatever version of this it is, getting things, you know, redecorated or pretty or redoing things. And a lot of you are also considering doing something for health at home. So it's like buying a treadmill for the home, buying an exercise bike for the home, or just figuring out some kind of workout plan, push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups, something simple at home. Okay, something to consider because the environment is key for that. And it's very good time for you guys to implement those kind of deals. Next up here, guys, we get into hopes and fears. And this is a fear. And it's a legitimate fear. I'm not going to, you know, hold it against you, Capricorn. This is a fear of being bankrupt, or being bankrupt in regards to health and the definition pool of health. Like, you know, just having, maybe some of you are very afraid of being unhealthy, being afraid of getting sick, germophobia. Maybe some of you just don't have the best health. Or it's the financial message. It's usually not both. It's one of these or the other. So it's really easy for you to figure out most of the time which one they're talking about for you here. And, you know, being bankrupt financially would just be like, hey, you know, I'm really afraid of, you know, one bill comes the wrong way at me. You know, I'm going to be upside down on something. You know, I'm not going to be doing so well. I'm going to be pretty close to rock bottom here. And that, like I said, it's both of those sides, health or financial. They're both legitimate fears. But I have to remind you from my side of the table that fears a lot of times are illusionary. They're not real. A lot of times we worry about things that may never come at all. And maybe things will come, but they're not guaranteed to come. So what you want to do is you don't want to put all your energy into that basket, especially if it's negative, because all you're going to do is just make it come quicker. You're going to actually do the exact opposite of what you're trying to do, which is to get it out and not worry about it. you're actually going to manifest it and bring it in, which is what you don't want to do. Now, we're going to talk about more of that kind of bring it in, bring it out stuff with your moon cycles next, but first let's finish your Celtic Cross. Your month ends with the King of Swords. They said not the person, though. So we're talking about the energetic definition of my King of Swords, which is very, very firm mentally. Your month ends with you guys being very sure about yourself, and you need to be. You need to keep doing this like mental, being very clear with things, not being wishy-washy. It's actually very masculine energy. That's why it comes through the king. So it's almost like, just be firm. Sometimes you just got to be mean. It's hard for some of us nice people. We want to be nice first on the initial phase here, but sometimes you just have to say no to things. Sometimes you have to say, I'm not going to do that. And you have to have that up here. You got to have that aptitude up here mentally. Be very sharp as your month concludes. There's something in there that they're just seeing, and they want you to be very headstrong about, Capricorn. So very good there. We already did your runestone, which was initiation. So that's you can see that probably a few different phases of this. But with initiation, it's basically saying you guys are ready. You're ready to roll. There's no reason that we cannot have an excellent February and then go on to have an excellent March too. You guys are in good shape here. Just a couple things to work out, and make sure you get that rest and relaxation. And really, that was your only angel card that came in prominently. So rest is a big deal for February, especially since you guys are so very busy. So we're going to get into those moon cycles. You guys are having a super new moon. In fact, everybody gets to enjoy that. The super new moon in February. It doesn't happen often, but it is the best time to manifest and bring new things into your life if that is what you're trying to do. So check that out. And then we're going to conclude after that with homily, which is a little spiritual pep talk done by me wearing rain gear. Okay guys, it is moon cycles forecast time. Let's talk about these lunar energies that are all around us anyways, so we can use it to our benefit, implement some positive change into your month. Well, the first thing you need to understand is whether these energies are coming in or going out. Just like the tides, the moon has control of that. In the same way, you can use it too. The first thing that hits chronologically this month is the new moon. You're going to see all the text information on your screen, any rare occurrences, as well as the date. Now, this is a target date for the new moon. It doesn't have to be done on this date, guys. I really like to bracket a few days before and a few days after to get a very powerful week where you can bring new things into your life and really manifest. If it is NEW, it's not there before, brand new, this is the best time to bring it into your life. Something new financially, maybe something new with work, new love, new health. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's new, this is the best time of the month to work on these things, really help bring it in. Adversely, the full moon, the opposite energy, the energy going out, hits on this date on your screen. And of course, the same rules apply. It doesn't have to be done on this date. We're talking about a week window, a few days on each side of it here. When this energy is very strong going out, and the energy going out is the best time to get things out of your life that don't belong there or that you don't want there. Something that's got control of you or hold of you that you don't want. Maybe something like a bad habit, maybe emotional baggage, a bill that's got to go. That would be something financially, maybe something with health, maybe an eating habit that's got to go. It doesn't matter if it's got to go. The full moon is your best bet to get this change to stick. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. I do it every single month. It is free. It is on the website, guys. You can check it out very easily. It is a little graphic illustration, a tool that you can use so you can kind of see these changes moving in and moving out, so you can align things in your month to it to really get them to stick, implement some great positive changes. Now let's get into your homily. Hello friends, and welcome into your homily, February 2024 edition. My name is Scott Sagent, and the name of this homily this month is Don't Let It Rain on Your Parade. We're going to be talking about managing expectations here. Good expectations that we might be too high on, expecting too much from, bad things, expecting bad days, and how we can get way too low on that. Finding a nice middle ground here. The first and very most important thing to start with is that us, as human beings, we are just prediction machines. Our mind is computing and processing a whole bunch of stimuli every single second of every single day, trying to figure out what's going to happen next so that you can be in the right present moment, making the best decisions for you at that time. So just like if you come up to a stop sign and there's another car, you're trying to figure out, both you guys are really, who's going to go first, who's going to do what you're trying to figure out what they're going to do so you don't crash into them, right? Same thing if a stranger walks up to you, you're trying to figure out analyze the heck out of it as quick as you're not even realizing it's happening at this point. It happens automatically, but you're trying to figure out, is this stranger coming up to me? Can they be trusted? Are they a good person? Or are they going to rob me? Okay, so we're doing all these kind of things all the time, all these computations behind the scene. And as a result of all that, we come up with expectations, our version of the future, whether it be a good event or a negative event, doesn't matter. We're creating these expectations all the time about what we expect to happen. But here's the thing, a lot of times these expectations do not happen. Never happens at all. Or maybe they're not as good as we want them to be, or as bad as we would like to avoid. So let's get into a little bit of that. Now, I like to look at this with a frame that I call the 5% rule. So let's take a good example first. Hey, you're going to Disneyland, you're going to a theme park, doesn't matter which one, pretend, okay, you're going to have the best day ever. Your expectations are way up here. You're like, yeah, I'm going to meet these characters. I'm going to get to go on all these rides. I'm going to, live out my childhood dreams and just have a great day all the way up here. That's what you're expecting, okay? And that's fine. Maybe it'll happen. But there's only that 5% rule, the 5% chance that you're going to get to the tippy top of what is actually going to occur. Stuff happens, stuff goes wrong. And if you're up there, that 5%, well, the reality is that you're going to be somewhere in that other 95% range, which is way down here. Okay, so even if it's a good day and it's up here, it's like, well, I didn't get to go on all the rides I wanted to go on. I got to go on half of them, but there's on the other half, and the lines were too long. Or maybe down here it rained all day. They had to shut down some rides. It didn't work out at all for me. That was not what I was expecting at all. So anywhere off of your top tier of what you were expecting before is going to be a letdown. You're going to feel that very deeply in you, like, something is just not really good. Not a good feeling, not a good emotion to have. Now let's look at a negative one. Same rule of fives apply. Hey, you got to go to a dentist appointment. And this is going to be one where you're expecting a procedure to happen that is going to be a little painful, a little bit of uncomfortness going on, and you're just not looking forward to it. Okay, so your expectation is like down, down, down here. I'm not sure if I'm off the camera, but I'm pretty low down here. So anyway, the same 5% rule applies, guys. Same 5% rule. It's usually not as bad as you expect it to be, the bad things, okay? You're going to be in that 95% range somewhere else. So, hey, you get this procedure done, and okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. That didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Maybe it was an uncomfortable hour and a half. But you know what? Now, that was up here. That wasn't that bad. Now I can feel like that weight is lifted off my shoulder. I got that out of the way, done and checked off my list. So it's the rule of the 5%. Now, what do we do with this information, right? Now, a lot of people say, oh, you just got to eliminate the expectations. Just get rid of them altogether. You don't need them, right? We don't need to have expectations about what's going to happen, whether it be good or bad. Well, that's a utopia. That is just not realistic, since we are human prediction machines. We are always trying to figure stuff out, and without expectations, that would leave us with nothing to ever look forward to. And of course, it's okay to look forward to something. You just got to manage this. So let's talk about how we manage these. Giving those two examples that I gave you earlier, let's go through both of them. The Disney World, having a great time, expectations up to here. Hey, you know what? Let's bring the expectation into middle keel. You know why? Because I expect that I'm going to have fun no matter what happens. Because at the end of the day, it is not what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens to you. It's the decisions you make. So if you go into the day thinking, hey, you know what? I'm going to have the best time possible with whatever situations and circumstances come up. I'm going to make sure that this is a good day. Okay, so you're up here and you're nice and good. That's managing your expectations for the good. Now let's talk about managing the low side. That dentist appointment, that painful procedure, that cavity filling, that root canal, whatever it is. Okay, well, what do we do about this? You tell yourself, hey, you know what? It might not be that bad. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to check it off my list, and I'm going to put it behind me. You're going to attack the day in a much more middle keel. And the likelihood is you're going to hit that 95% either way. So it's all going to work out kind of more in the middle regardless. Nothing is ever as bad as we expect it to be. And usually nothing is ever as good as we expect it to be either. And that's okay, because we're managing expectations. Of course, this doesn't always come naturally to everybody. Sometimes it does take a little bit of practice and implementation to lower these expectations, or at least manage the kind of middle ground, that 95% range of both sides of things. But the rain will come. It always does. The challenges in life will come. Nothing ever works out like we intended to, whether it be too good or too bad. And the good news is that puts the power back into your corner, because again, it is not what happens to you. It is what you do with what happens to you. You remember that, you'll be in great shape, guys. So that is going to conclude your homily for February 2024. Do not let it rain on your parade, guys. I'm telling you. That's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings. Have an excellent February. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.